Hi, I'm Haven. This is what is it? Safe space for curiosity and.
Okay. Hi, welcome to Haven. This is a podcast that is a safe space for curiosity and conversation. I'm Haven, and today I'm curious about Big Sister, Little Sister relationships.
I didn't know we were doing the full title. It feels like that game on SNL when it's like they're trying to finish the song and it's like
it totally does. Or those twins that were in Australia sharing the story about what happened in the car. Okay, welcome. I'm using that one. Okay, technically the title was going to be Big Sis, Little Sis relationships, but when I was speaking in unison with Ciella, my guest, we said Big Sister, Little Sister. So I was about to do my intro and she was like, I got this. And you're not even talking to your mic, my girl.
Then I didn't have it. I didn't have it at all. Not even a little bit.
But it was perfect.
Great.
My cheeks hurt. The way this format was going to be was like, I'm going to talk solo for about 5 minutes, set up the episode, and we're already throwing it out the window.
It's gone.
Welcome, Ciella.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so excited.
Let's talk about our relationship.
Let's do it.
Well, my cheeks really do hurt from that.
Mine too.
That was already funny to me. Okay, well, basically the sub tagline of what I was thinking of is when someone is, while you're still learning and someone's looking up to you.
Yeah. Where
it's a relationship where you're maybe like 4 or 5, 6 years ahead of someone. It's not like a big gap of like either what they're looking to you for of like experience or relationships or a stage of life, but you're not close. It's not like a peer thing. It is like this little bit of a mentorship, like a senior and a freshman. And then I watched an episode of Bluey and it like totally, I was like, this is me and Ciella. This is literally us. You're Bluey.
Yes.
And in that, so I wrote this, the episode is Barky Boats.
Oh, the best one.
It's so good. So Bluey's 5-year-old. She's like in preschool. And then there's a 12-year-old buddy that she was assigned in the beginning of preschool called Mia. So when she started preschool, Mia was probably like 9 or 10. And then they see each other from time to time, these buddies. It's also alongside Bluey's friend Mackenzie. And he's assigned an older boy named Captain. And then for you, like Bluey diehards, I'm like, is Mackenzie who she ends up with at the end? When they skip to the future, the dog could either look like Mackenzie or it could look like Jean-Luc.
Absolutely Jean-Luc.
You think it's Jean-Luc?
I think it's Jean-Luc. 100%.
I think it's Mackenzie.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see
who's right.
We'll see who's right. I'm pro either one. They're both sweet.
We're not competitive either, so.
No, not at all. Not at all. But basically in this episode, Mia is helping Bluey like play and make a fairy garden. And you see like Bluey's perspective, which is like Mia and her in the fairy garden. Yeah. And then you see Mia's perspective where it's definitely fun and having like a good time with Bluey, but she's getting nervous about going to middle school. Like she's about to have this big transition. So you see her helping a 5-year-old and her and Captain, the other 12-year-olds are like about to enter into this new way of life that Bluey and Mackenzie are oblivious to. They have no regard that these 12-year-olds are having like a midlife crisis. They're just looking up to them, wanting to play with them. Yeah. And I just thought that's such a unique relationship with someone where like they were assigned, each other, but someone who's like just a couple years ahead, but to the person who's a couple years ahead, you're still living your own life. Like you're trying to figure out things, you're trying to navigate things, but like a 12-year-old can help a preschooler. They can help what that is. And I was also reading this book talking about how great it is developmentally for children to hang out in mixed ages. They were like, it's good because when it's only the same ages, it gets really competitive. Yeah. But like if a 12-year-old is pitching to a 6-year-old, they're not going to throw as hard as they can. That's not fun. They're not going to whoop up on a 6-year-old. Like they're going to be more compassionate, more gentle. They're also going to learn better because they're required to teach the game. And then it was also saying that like 7-year-olds playing a card game could fall apart, but a 9-year-old playing them says like, put your cards up, I can see your hand. Or like, actually you don't want to play your queen right now, here's why. Or like the fairness in saying that mixed ages is great because the older ones, it helps them have compassion, empathy, teaching. And the younger ones, they want to look cool in front of the older ones. They want to learn the rules and they want to like try and keep up. And that it's actually like a great dynamic as like a community to have mixed ages. Yeah. And so I wanted to have you on here for a while because I've had like the privilege and blessing to have like a front row to a lot of your formative years of adulthood.
Yeah.
And been ahead of it. So tell me a little bit about your perspective of like the beginning of our relationship before we kind of like got closer, and then what that's really looked like.
Totally. Well, we met, I think I was 19 when we met at Mosaic, which is our church.
Mm-hmm.
I had been 17 when I started coming and 19 when I started serving there. And that's kind of when I think I got connected to you and Aaron. I think I was friends with Aaron first just because he was my leader. And it was like, okay, I'm just this kid. You know, it was so new. I didn't know anybody. And I think with you and it was like, I always looked at you and I was like, wow, that girl is amazing. Like, she has got it together. She just shows up. She's just like this like breath of fresh air, like ray of sunshine, you know, like truly like I want to be like her when I grow up, you know? And that's what it, because how
old are you now?
Age difference?
How old are you now?
I'm 27 now.
27. I'm 33. So just 5 years.
Yeah, so 5 years. Which
Me at 24.
But you at 24, girl, my hero. I was like, man, if I could be like her at 24, life's good, you know? But yeah, no, I don't think we really had a friendship those first couple of years. It was really kind of just me admiring you from a distance, fangirl.
Just super acquaintances. Like,
Yeah.
It was like hanging, but we didn't even have any like real depth of conversation.
Yeah, I think kind of like you were saying with, you know, the Bluey thing. It's like, I don't know that Bluey and Mia are hanging out like on the weekends either. You know, I don't know that they have a lot to relate to, you know? And I feel like that was kind of us. It was like, cool, you know, this is a great person, but there wasn't really a lot of like common ground,
Right.
You know?
We didn't go to the same preschool.
We didn't go to the same preschool, you know, things like that. But yeah, I think you texted me. That's literally what it is. I think you texted me out of the blue. Oh, I scrolled up. I actually looked this up the other day because I need facts. I can't lie to you.
Totally.
I can't tell you a guesstimation. I literally scrolled back to the end of our text thread and it took me like an hour to do. I was committed.
The commitment to the data.
The data. But no, you texted me out of the blue one day. I was on a Zoom with Aaron and you were like, Ciella, you look beautiful today. And I was just like, this made my entire day. This is it. I've made it. Haven texted me. I have her number now. She can't get rid of me.
No, I mean, because you sent it to me and I literally said, Ciella, this is Haven. And it was a picture of you on the Zoom. And you sent it to me and I was like, you look so beautiful. It's like captivating. I just had to let you know.
And I was like, literally, you're the most beautiful, captivating person I know. So thank you. Received.
Takes
honor.
one to know one.
And then I think literally the next text in that thread was like, hey, I'd love to get coffee sometime. It was like months later.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would love that. Like secretly fangirling inside. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. Like this is it. I'm going to be her friend. This is amazing. Mm-hmm. And I think you took me to coffee and we had a conversation that I think took me by surprise. I don't think I had ever experienced a conversation like that, but you sat me down and, you know, just were kind of getting to know me, getting to know my story. And you were like, hey, look, like I would really love to invest in you. You know, I'd really love to be a person for you to kind of walk through things with if you want to. And I think that was something that no one had ever framed for me. You know, I'd had a lot of people who were like, I want to speak into your life. I want to be able to give you feedback or thoughts or things like that. But there was no one that was like, I believe in you and I want to invest in you because of what I see. And I think that for me was like, wow, like that's incredible. And like, what a gift to be able to have someone who like sees me, this like lost kid at 19. I was like, who am I? You're like, you know, I think you're incredible. I was like, who's incredible? You know, like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. You know, I came to LA at 17 to pursue music and it was like just so many voices, so many opinions, so many thoughts. And like, I think by the time I turned 19, it was like LA had chewed me up, spit me out. I was like ready to go, you know? I was like, I don't have anyone here. Like, I don't have anyone that's kind of encouraging me and like making me feel like there is something outside of this. It feels like right when we kind of had that relationship start was like an old dream was dying and I didn't know where to go. And I think you kind of helped guide me through that, you know? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that's kind of the beginning of our relationship.
I'm so glad
From
you
there, it's been like,
I know.
Everything else.
A lot to say about after that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, leading into it, I was so glad when you texted like the beginning of our thread because one, I'm a text purger.
Oh yeah,
they auto delete after 30 days.
No,
I have no data to recall.
If you said it, I'll be like August 13th, 2017, right here.
Right here. Here's the proof.
Here's the proof.
And so I was like, oh my gosh, like it's so interesting of going all the way back where So like my background before is like I had done these kind of things before. Like I had been the camp counselor, you know, and so I had like young groups of women at my school. I was like the president of like the student body of like our group. So I would go and talk to the younger grades, and then they would ask me, and they would like pass me notes in school, and I'd pass them back to like as a senior and a sixth grader. Like, so I had kind of done this kind of role before, and I had been valued of like the people who didn't done that and invested that in me. So like that to me was like very just like a natural, maybe it's a Texas thing, I don't know. But like it felt very natural. But the reason that even I initiated with you was it was at and around the time I was dealing with some like infertility. Yeah. And it was so right in front of my face. And I was like just so bummed about it. And every month I was disappointed when I wasn't pregnant. And it was really hard to like think about anything else. And I was talking with a friend, and she was like, well, why don't you choose someone and just like invest in them, celebrate them, champion them, whatever, and like maybe it would help get your mind off of it. And I just thought like that's the opposite advice I thought you were gonna say, like why don't you go do something for someone else. But I was like, it couldn't hurt. And I was like, I've done it before, but now this is a great and then I was like, well, who in this community one do I naturally want to spend time with? Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna do this out of nowhere. I was like, who do I have chemistry with? Who do I like, would I like to have coffee and like to hear about their life, and who's trying to make, you know, some good choices, whether it's ill-informed or not. Just like someone who's not just wilding out, that's going to be like a waste of everyone's time to do it for me, you know? And actually there's someone else. I was like, well, maybe either one, because what if one of them says no, or they both say no? I was like, I don't know, because it's also, from this perspective, it's a little vulnerable to say that, because it's not coming from a position of like, I want to teach you, I want to lead you, give you feedback. It's really, I want to help and support you, and it has to be mutual. And so when you took it on, like you just grasped onto it, I was like, oh, I'm so glad. Like, I'm so glad this can be like of service. And I said, I don't know what that's like going to look like. We can kind of figure it out. I said, but I want to be a place where if you want to bounce off ideas, or if you're not sure, or like even just hanging, getting to know each other better, I'd like to do that. And then that's kind of what started. It feels vulnerable on both sides. Yeah. You know, it feels vulnerable to ask that.
I guess that's true. I could have easily rejected you, huh?
Well, I think about it of like, you could have, because I remember growing up, like to me, the most prevalent one is every summer I would have a different camp counselor. And some of them I loved and I thought they were great. Some of them I just did not gel with. Like the ones that I felt like needed my approval annoyed me so bad. I was like, you're here to like be the example. Like, don't make me give you validation. Or one of them the whole summer tried to get me to date her brother. Oh gosh. And I just was like, how can I go to you with anything? You have a like subverse agenda, and I don't like your brother, and I just need someone to help it. Like, so I think I was more vulnerable to ask, because I've had people that have wanted to talk to me and speak into my life, and I just thought, I don't want you to.
No thanks, I'm good.
No thanks, like no offense, I'm sure there's something else you could teach me, but in this instance, like, so I think it's also, and it feels also kind of strange of, you know, this going back to Mia and Bluey. Mia doesn't know a lot. She's 12. You know, me at 24, I don't know a lot. But I know enough about the last 5 years, you know, and some decisions making that could help. So like, what were our early conversations like?
I'm trying to remember. It's been so long, and I feel like we've had so many lifetimes since then. Literally, how many times have I called you? I don't know. I wish I could tell you. I wish I had that data point, but I don't today. Give me a week. I think the beginning conversations were a lot of like kind of almost coaching me in how to have healthy relationships. I think that's what I didn't have. It was a lot of just friendships, even, you know, like, hey, you know, like maybe this person that you think is your best friend, that's not actually like how friends treat each other, you know, like it feels like so silly, like looking back now to be like, oh yeah, I wasn't aware that that was a really toxic relationship, you know? And just like honestly having like those blinders on of just like having someone that was like kind of checking my blind spots. I think that was a lot of it in the beginning. It was kind of around those friendships, those relationships. A lot of it too, you were like, hey, like, what are your goals? What are your dreams? What do you want to do? You know, like, who do you want to be? And I think that was like stuff that, like I said, I had such a vision for my life. I was going to be Taylor Swift. It was going to be great. I was going to be touring. It didn't matter, you know, like I didn't have to think about those things. I had a plan, you know? And then when I was like, oh, not even like did that, like, it wasn't just like, oh, that dream died. You know, I didn't get the record deal. I didn't get the thing. It was like, I don't think I want that. You know, like I realized like I was tour managing, I think at the time. And I was like, I don't like touring. Like, I remember. I was like, I'm getting a taste of what this would look like and I don't enjoy it. Like that was the other thing too. It was like, it wasn't just that the dream didn't happen. It was like, I was getting to see what the dream would look like. And I was like, this is not what I want. You know, I want that stability. Like I want a family. I want to be able to like have a partner and things like that. And at 19, I mean, I was so young to be even thinking about those things, but I was like, wow, like if this is the trajectory my life is going on, it doesn't result in the life that I want, you know? And I think that those were a lot of the conversations that we were having in the beginning.
Did I ever give you advice that you didn't like or didn't agree with in that stage?
I don't, tough question.
No, you're like, I'm thinking later on, yes.
Every day. No, I don't think you gave me advice that I didn't agree with. I think you gave me advice sometimes that I wasn't ready to hear. And I think when you gave me that advice, I was like, well, Haven just doesn't get where I'm at right now. She doesn't understand. And I think like as an older sister, like I'm like, just wait, like you'll get it in a second, you know? And it's like, I think you were so patient with me in those times, you know, especially I'm so stubborn. And there were times you had to tell me multiple times, you know, or, you know, you never told me. You were so kind. And it was always so like, you know, your opinion, Ciella, your thoughts, this is your life. You know, it was never commander frequency as we call it. Sometimes.
No, it's two commanders to one another.
Yeah, exactly.
It wouldn't work.
It wouldn't have worked. Canceled out. But yeah, I think if anything, it was just more so like I wasn't ready to hear those things. And so then as I got to the point where I was like, oh, here's what Haven was talking about, you know, like she actually was right, you know, and it was just sometimes came later, but it was like sometimes hard to hear or I wasn't ready to hear it or I didn't want to hear it is maybe the reality. But I don't ever think there was necessarily anything that I was like strongly disagree, you know, 0 out of 10 review.
0 out of 10. Well, you bring that up though of like you're an older sister. So that's the dynamic too of like this is the first time you've ever been in that type of position because you were the one who was like, I'm in charge, eldest daughter energy. Was that like a gear shift for you?
Oh, absolutely. I'm the CEO of the family, like 100%.
Yeah,
like,
I've seen it in action. I know your family.
Never submitted. Like, this is not how I roll. Like, I am the one who's like, hey, this is what should be, you know, I've always been the one to be like, okay, my sisters are coming to me. And I think that was something for me that was so different. And I think it's what I was so grateful for too. Like, I didn't have, yes, I had like the church leaders growing up and I had the occasional camp counselor and things, but I never had like an older sister that I felt like I could go to. And I like desperately craved that. It was like, hey, this is something that like, I don't know that I can talk to anyone about this. This is where I wish I had an older sister, you know? And for me, that's like really where you came in. It was just like such a safe place to land, you know? It was like, it didn't matter what the situation was, whether it was big, small, life altering, you know, Wednesday morning. It was like anything that I came to you with, you just held it so open-handed and safe and just made me feel like you were the safest place in the world to talk and just like hear me out and then, you know, challenge me. I think that was the thing too. It's like, I didn't just want someone who was going to just sit there and be like, yeah, you know, that's tough. Like I really wanted someone who was going to make me better, you know? And I think that is like where you stepped in and just like absolutely changed my life, honestly, you know, like I'm just so grateful because it was such, like you said, like formative years for me. And like, I think I truly got to grow up with you, you know, like I feel like everyone's like, oh yeah, we were kids together, you know, but like for me growing up was like 19 to 25, you know,
you
like,
changed substantially.
Yeah. It was a completely like my life did a like what is it 180 360 yep. What is the one I can't remember you know?
360s where you start full circle. In the same part.
Yeah, we're no going back at this point, but yeah, no, like a complete 180. And it is like truly like I feel like you were such a huge part of that.
How can someone have that conversation with someone where you're receiving and being a safe space and also challenging, calling to more? Like what is it like practice? Because someone listening would be like, how do you even do that?
Yes. I don't know that I'm the person to answer this.
As someone on the receiving end.
I know, I'm like, Challenger is my top frequency. I think I use Commander more than anything.
Yes.
I think it's being able to be like, as someone receiving it, maybe I can speak to that side more. I think it's being willing to be open-minded, you know, open-minded in the fact that maybe the way you are handling something isn't right, You know, maybe there's not even, I think for me, it was also realizing it's not black and white. You know, there's so many different ways to handle a situation, to go about a thing, and all of those will result in different outcomes, you know? So you can do it this way, and it might be this thing is the outcome. Or you could do it this way, and it might be an easier thing is the outcome. And I think, yeah, just being open-minded to the fact that it's like, hey, here's someone that I trust that's giving me an alternate perspective here, you know, and being really open to hearing that.
Did watching, because me, like 24, I'm like, oh my gosh, baby. Did watching me like struggle and figure things out like a little bit of ahead help at all? Or was it more about being a sounding board for you? Like, what was the most helpful between those two?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, the fact that you had gone ahead was like a huge thing, you know, because it was like almost I feel like almost every situation that I've come to you when I'm like, my world is falling apart, Haven. It's over. Like, I'm never going to, you know, I feel like almost every single time you've come to me and said like, hey, like I've been through that. And that for me was just so comforting to know I wasn't alone in it. You know, whether it was like identity crisis, you know, lost the job, lost the boy, lost the, you know, like every single thing. And like, even as we've gotten older, you know, like, hey, marriage is hard, you know, like, hey, now I've had my own fertility things, you know, it's like the realer life has gotten, it's like, wow, like you really have gone, like you said, it's like 5 years ahead. And it's like almost like looking at myself 5 years in the future sometimes, you know, where it's like, okay, wow, like I know the end of this story, you know, like I know that even through all of the things that Haven went through, like Isley is the success story out of that, you know, like Isley is the answered prayer. So it's like having you go before me and being able to speak to not only like, hey, like here's advice for how to handle that, but like, hey, as someone who's been in your shoes, who's felt the way that you felt, like I can relate to you. And like, if you want to talk about it, I'm here for you. Yeah.
I love that because it's so many different like conversations on that. Like a lot of it is relational, sometimes health, but even like job wise, I think about when you're like, I think I don't know about this job. It was, you know, terrible and really dysfunctional, but at least it was consistent.
Paycheck was nice, baby.
And then I was like, I think I have something in mind. And I was like, we're going to craft you into the most eligible candidate we've ever presented. I was like, you're going to read this book and you're going to say this and you're going to do this and you're going to follow up with this email at this time. I literally was
you will join the Zoom call, the interview 15 minutes early. Literally. I don't care if you're staring at a blank screen. You will be there and you will be prompt and you will be lovely.
Literally, I was like, here
maybe that's the only time you've commanded me.
No, it's true. I said, here's the checklist of what you're going to do for this interview. And like, so it's also, it's relationships and all that stuff. But I was like, it really is also like the nitty gritty of like professionalism.
Yeah, truly. Yeah. No, for real. I think that you have made me the most professional employee ever. Like, seriously, you've trained me for every single one of my job interviews that I've gotten. You were the one who trained me for it. Fun fact.
I'll take it.
There you go. Call Haven Wheats.
But it really is sometimes the big life questions and sometimes it's the really specific stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's also like the balance between, but we also had a lot of fun.
Yes.
I think that's also the mix of like, just come over for dinner.
Yeah.
Or like, let's hang out or, you know, I think that, but to the same regard, like it's the difference of like a friendship. Like it really is a very unique type of relationship, but it's not like a one higher or lower. It's just on a journey spectrum, you know?
Yeah. No, I think what you're saying is like so real. I think the only way that this relationship works is when you have that relational equity, you know? It's like you were a person that I loved and trusted before. I mean, like you said, we kind of went into this with the like, hey, I want to mentor you essentially in this way. But then we spent a lot of time just having fun together. We would co-work together. We would, you know, just go out for ice cream, just hang out. A lot of just getting to know each other. And I think that allowed me to trust you. You know, that helped me, not allowed me. It helped me get to a point where I was like, okay, this is not just someone who's like I said, wants to give me feedback, challenge me, you know, make me this thing, you know. It's just like, this is a friend, you know. And I think that's what I loved. It didn't feel like, okay, this is only my mentor or only my whatever. It's like, this is my friend, that big sister that, you know, I can go to. And I think that was like a huge thing for me. And I think on top of that, we had this amazing dynamic of the fact that while you were mentoring me at 19 years old, my then not at the time husband, your husband, Aaron, was investing in him. That was like his guy. And so Aaron kind of had a similar conversation, I think, with Adolfo of like, hey, you know, I want to invest in you. And so as individuals, we were then being mentored by this incredible couple. I think we were barely friends at the time.
Yeah,
too.
you guys were just like, even
it
like,
was not even like, oh, you know, like we think we're cool. Like it was like completely, you know, like that guy's fine. You know, like he's whatever.
yeah,
like,
we're like
we're on the
co-workers,
same team, you know,
co-volunteers.
No, literally. And then it was like funny because I feel like you guys really walked through like every stage of life with us as individuals, and then as like newly starting to explore dating. Like, I mean, your husband Aaron literally is like the one who was like, Adolfo, yeah, like who should I date? But like when Adolfo was like going through a breakup and was like, you know, navigating like, hey, like there's this girl, I think I kind of want to date her. I don't know if it's too soon, like any of those things, that Aaron was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't date anyone. You know, like you're probably not ready. And it was like, who though? Like, who are you thinking about dating? He's like, oh, you know, like Ciella. And he was like, yeah, you should date Ciella. You know? So
he just changes his advice mid-sentence, like,
which
you're probably
he wasn't
not
wrong
ready.
because that time we shouldn't have dated. The first go around we should have waited. But no, like it ended up being like the greatest blessing to have you guys know us as individuals, be able to speak into our lives as individuals, and then like such a gift to get to like, okay, now we're a relationship. We're like this newfound dating, you know, we're trying to figure it out. And I remember so many times we called you, I think maybe 3 or 4 times during COVID, where we're like, we're breaking up.
I remember, and we would just walk and talk during COVID and like hear about how you might be breaking up.
Yeah.
And it's the end of the end.
Yeah, I think, well, I remember we would do solo trips of like, hey, I think we're breaking up, but we also Zoomed you guys together jointly to facilitate our breakup a couple times.
I forgot.
And you guys were like, you're not breaking up, it's fine. Like
it's true.
It's not as big as it feels. And we're like, no, it's over.
And we're just like, or you could communicate.
Which if that doesn't tell you about Adolfo and I's personality of like, hey, can you facilitate our breakup for us? Like, I think that would really help us, you know, have the most productive and efficient breakup possible.
I forgot about those.
There was a couple of those, but
it was also FaceTimes in a car.
It's FaceTimed in a car always because it was COVID and nothing was open, and it was always like, all right, well, we're driving to this place before I have to go home again.
Yes.
You know, but yeah, lots of Chick-fil-A parking lot calls of almost breakups. But no, like I think having you guys be able to guide us through those things was such a gift, and honestly probably one of the biggest reasons we were able to stay together, you know, because it was like, wow, this is like, again, you guys had been through these things, you guys had gone before us, you guys were coming from, I think at that point, like 8 years of marriage. You know, it was like, it wasn't just this random couple that we were like, oh, we like to hang out with us sometimes, like, what's your advice? But yeah, I think that that's been such a huge gift for us to get to walk through that with you guys and have such a close, like another marriage to be able to look up to. The same way that you guys have mentored us as individuals, we then got to look at your marriage for that as well.
So we met, you guys were like single, separate, and then you guys started dating.
Yes.
And then a couple bumps in the road.
Couple bumps.
And
they were quick though, quick bumps.
They were quick, but intense. But quick.
Yeah.
And then engaged. And then we did your premarital counseling with you.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yes.
I've completely blocked that time of my life out. I was the bridezilla to the fullest.
I don't remember that.
Oh.
But I was also freshly postpartum.
You had just had a baby.
I just had, and because I was your bridesmaid, and I was like, I don't know what size dress to get for this thing.
Hey girl, you looked good. That's all that mattered.
Thank you. Thank you. It was nice and curvy. But then, like, even that. So we're doing your premarital.
Yes.
Aaron officiates your wedding.
Yes.
I'm a bridesmaid.
Isley's our flower girl.
We also skipped over, you watched Isley as her nanny.
Oh my gosh. We skipped over that whole era of life.
It's just too long of a relationship. So you were a nanny for the first like year of her life.
Yeah.
Maybe even 2.
Well, you got pregnant almost right after you started like the conversation about mentoring me.
Yes.
It was like almost exactly, I think, is what because that was why I was looking at it, because I wanted to know how close it was to from that conversation to when you got pregnant.
Yes, because mentoring was later, because I got pregnant like 27 or something.
Well, so I think that was around the same time though, because I think, because it was 2019.
Yes.
So yeah. Because beginning of 2019 was when they had that conversation. You had Isley in November.
Oh my gosh.
So,
so that's also where most of our conversations, because you were in our home.
Yes.
You were around a lot. Like it was there. I would come home and then I would pay immediately. Because I was like, after this,
You're like, this girl's gonna hang.
I was like, after this, it's on your time. I'm not paying you to talk to you.
You're like, no, you can pay me.
So I would walk in, I'd pay, and then I'd be like, well, what's going on with your life?
Yeah.
And then we would just like expand after there and hang and everything.
I feel like I was there for like another hour and a half every day.
Yeah.
I was like, this is my time now.
This is my time now. It's true. We'd put Isley down.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so Isley's a flower girl.
Yes.
You're getting married.
Yeah.
And then it's the marriage conversations. I feel like also
conversation.
our adjustments of conversations. It was
Insane.
dating, engaged, and it was work for a while.
And
then it was the marriage conversations.
yes.
And so it really does ebb and flow.
Yeah. It was like engagement and like, okay, this is happening now, and like how to prepare for marriage. And then once marriage happened, it was like, how do I do this?
Yes.
You know, because I feel like the beginning, Adolfo and I, we can laugh about it now because we're through it and life is great. We always joke like we never had a honeymoon period. I feel like we're in it now.
Yay.
It was like we fought as friends before we ever started dating. We fought all the time during our like relationship, engagement, like or whatever. But it's like, yes, we used to joke. We're like, man, like if this is the first year of marriage, like we've got our work cut out for us.
Good luck.
You know, if it's all downhill from here. But no, truly, I feel like for us, it's been the opposite where it's been like all uphill from there. But yeah, that first year was brutal. It was brutal. And I remember like calling you in the beginning and being like, I don't know how to do this. Like, I don't know how to navigate this thing. I don't know how to feel about this thing. Like all of these conversations that were coming up. And I was just like, how do I do this, Haven? Like, how do we get through this? And then even towards like the end of the year where it was like, okay, we just found out that like I have this like weird cancer situation that's happening. We don't know how to handle this. How do I walk Adolfo through this? Like, how do I, you know, cope, manage? Like literally when it's like someone's like, hey, like, you know, if we don't take this thing out today, you'll die in 6 months, you know, just like those aren't things you hear at 24 years old, you know?
No.
And so it was like so much real life. I think it's like, it's easy to have those, I guess easy is the wrong word. It feels so easy comparatively to the conversations we were having then to like the like, oh yeah, like how do I have good friends? You know, how do I, you know, how do I make friends? How do I have healthy relationships? How do I have all these things? And it feels like when it was like, this is so real. This is the like, hey, like, are we going to get divorced? Like, that's like the reality, you know? It's like, are we going to make it, you know? And it was like, again, you were just the safest place. You were the place that I could come to that I knew there was like no judgment for me or Adolfo. I think that was so important too. I had a lot of friends that it was like, okay, well, I don't want to go to them with this thing because I don't want them to look at him differently, you know, or I don't want them to look at me differently or any of those things. And so being able to like consistently come back to you and Aaron and know like these are people who love us. They love us. They've seen it all, you know, and they've seen the best, the worst. And like ultimately they want just what's best for us, you know, who are just always going to champion us, always going to help us to like see those blind spots and move forward and just keep rowing the boat, you know?
And I think that is also the season where it was more of the harshest,
yes,
not tough love, but with you where I was like, you know, especially because like I love Adolfo separately. He and I actually have our own great relationship.
I know. Y'all are like best buds, little coworkers. I'm always like, hey guys, I'm still here at FOMO.
I know. Like he's my bud separately, but also he knows this. You're my girl.
Exactly.
And so when I was talking with you though, I was like, you know, Adolfo's going to table his own stuff. I was like, but we got to talk about your part to play.
Yes.
I was like, we got to talk about this is that. And I remember those were like some of the toughest things to hear. And I mean, I commend you too because you were willing to like hear what's my side of the fence here.
Yeah. Back to like what you were saying about the like, I'm your girl at the end of the day. Like with that, I think I have a lot of friends who it's like, you're my girl, you know, nothing you do is wrong. Like if I'm venting about my husband, they're like, oh yeah, heck that guy. You know, like you can sleep on my couch any day, you know? And it's like, I think I'm your girl, but I know that if I show up at your door, you're like, hey, turn around. Your husband's at home. You got stuff to do. Like you got to work stuff out, you know? And it's like that tough love of like, hey, this is not Adolfo's fault. This is not just a one-sided relationship. You have a part to play in this too. And like always having that, like you reel out, like the reality is you checked me a lot, you know, you check me. And like I was saying about like checking your blind spots, it's like, yeah, those are tough. And self-awareness is something that I definitely learned from you, you know, because it's really easy to be like, oh yeah, I'm looking at my side, things look good over here, you know, and it's really easy to blame someone else. And I think that's what I loved so much also about the fact that you and Aaron knew both of us so well, and that you had your own relationship with Adolfo too, is just the fact that it was like, hey, I know that dynamic. I know how you both work. I know how you both operate. And like, I can see his side too, you know, versus just having a friend where it was like, cool, you're not talking to Adolfo. You don't know anything about like his side. And you're just like, yes, girl, you're right. He's totally wrong for that. You know, like having that place that it was like, hey, you know, cool. I hear that that's what you're going through, but you might be wrong. And this might be how, you know, you're perpetuating the issue, you know? So I think that was something I was super grateful for.
Yeah. And I'm even thinking of like, because ultimately, like, I'm pro both of you.
Yes.
And I think that helps too, where it's like, and even Aaron and I, we have all our own different relationships.
Yes.
He has a relationship with you. And he has a relationship with Adolfo. So I feel like that's also helpful. It doesn't always play out that way. Like, it's kind of like a really nice scenario.
I know. We got so lucky.
You really did. And part of me is like, wait, didn't Aaron like kind of match make it?
No, literally, Aaron is the reason that we got married.
Oh,
100%.
Gosh. Crazy.
I know. That's why he married us.
Oh, it's making me so tender.
I know. It's all so cute.
Okay, babe. What's your favorite fight that we've ever had?
Favorite?
Your favorite fight?
Okay, the first one that comes to mind is when we had Disneyland annual passes, and it would take like an hour or an hour and a half to get there every time. And we are just car fighters. We just now know we can't fight in a car. But you got so upset that we had to pull over. And then my thought was like, wait, are we going to Disneyland or not?
We fought a lot of times on the way to the happiest place on earth. That could be the descriptor of our entire marriage. But we've created a course called How to Fight Better,
with our actual marriage counselor, Dr. Jonathan Cood, who's helped us through many fights throughout the journey of our relationship. But he's given us helpful and practical tools of how to fight better. And we really wanted to share them with you guys. We didn't have a healthy model of conflict growing up. We had to learn these. And so we really wanted to be able to break it down. And it's so much bigger than a podcast episode. These are important things where the modules are small chunks. You watch them with your partner, and then you have an entire discussion together. We're really, really proud of it. It's something that's helped our relationship thrive. So if you go to joinpillowtalk.com, you can get How to Fight Better. It's out now. Okay, back to the episode.
Okay, I have a question, Haven.
Mm-hmm.
I've wanted to know this for years, and I don't think we've actually talked about it. But there were so many other girls around that same time in very similar stages of life as I was, around the same age, that you could have chosen for this, that you only had limited time. And so it's like, you could have picked any of them. And so I'm curious, why did you choose me?
I love this question. Because it's true, we've never talked about it.
No.
And I had to think about it. I was like, what? I'm going back to myself then. I was like, what was in there? I think I just felt a drawn kinship to you. There's just something chemistry-wise that I can't explain. Like, it's good dynamics. Like, we have a good time together. Like, it's fun rapport. It doesn't feel like I'll send something over and lob it over and it just dies on your side of the fence. You know, it feels like we volley back and forth. So I think first and foremost, it was probably chemistry. And then I think more about it, like, I love that you have bite in you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're a girl with some teeth. Yeah. And, like, I don't know. I feel like you've got, like, a backbone and you've got, like, some strength and you're formidable and you're in charge. And I think it's so funny now that I'm like, wow, Aaron mentored someone who's, like, a Maven frequency. Of course I chose a Commander Challenger because that's me, too, where I'm like, maybe it's that kind of aspect of just... I can understand where you're coming from. Yeah. And I think I just felt like I want a girl who's going to want to grow into a woman who's just going to like fall forward. Yeah. And I was like, if I'm going to help someone, I'd rather slightly help adjust the tracks of a moving train. Yes. Than try and get someone going. Yeah. And you were always moving. Like, you came here with a dream. That's insanely bold. Like, you moved here solo. You had your family adjust for your dream. Like, you were the CEO of your household. So I think I chose you because I just was like, oh, she's going to go somewhere. Yeah. And I want to be a part of it. You know, like, I don't care where you go. Like, we'll help you be a pop star. You know, we'll help you go in whatever. There's still time. Direction. There's still time. You never know. Like, but I think I chose you because I just was like, she's got, like, this chutzpah, this. I mean, the visual to me is just teeth.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like it. I like a girl with some bite.
Yeah.
And I think it's fun. And I just relate more than that. Like, I think it's ironic I have a daughter who's like angelic and like soft spoken and nurturing and literally so sensitive and romantic and kind. I feel like Echo's more like me.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah, a little more of like it's like he's kind of like me with testosterone.
Yeah, he's got some edge.
He's got some edge. But I'm like, oh, like I think I chose you because the natural, organic, it was easy to talk back and forth. And I could just tell you had your own momentum. I'm not going to have to force you to have momentum. I can just help refine it and help shape it and help, redirect into better areas. Yeah, like, this train's going off a cliff. Like, let's just move it. Like, just
90 degrees.
Just a slight change, And so I think that's why.
Yeah, I love that.
And then I think like even someone listening of like how to choose a mentor or a mentee, like it's unique because you just have to like the person.
Yeah.
Like you have to genuinely like being with them, want something well for them. It's not just like choosing who's a couple years below, who's in a similar industry. Like it can be any.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the same way of life, the same values. But I think you have to be like, we have something organic here going that can like bubble up and grow.
Yeah. I definitely think this dynamic has to feel natural. Like I think that I had other people who tried to do this, and it was definitely a little bit more forced. And I think when you're forcing something like this, like you're not going to have the trust. You're not going to have like the same relational equity. Like you said, I think the reason that it worked is because it wasn't always hard. If it was, and I think that was the biggest thing. And all of my other like dynamics like this, it was like every time we got together, I was getting rebuked. Every time we got together, it was something that I was failing in. It was something I was doing wrong. Versus with you, it was like we were having a lot of those conversations too. I was still getting rebuked sometimes, but it was like we were also having like the time of our lives. We were having so much fun together too. We had that relational equity.
And even then, like my perspective, like I don't know if it was, we've had sprinkled in hard ones for sure, but part of me is like, here's an area that's working in your life, Ciella.
Yes.
Do it. Like, this is great. You made that right choice. Like it was also kind of like drawing the eye to like, you're not someone who doesn't know how to figure out their life. Like you're a smart woman. Like these are the aspects that like keep going. It's also kind of like, where are we drawing the eye? It's not on all these things like that are mistakes. It's on what was working too.
Totally. And you were so encouraging always. And I think that was another thing that I loved about you. And I love what you were saying about why you chose me is because I feel like that's one of the reasons I chose you. I feel like sometimes like the stereotype of like a good woman, is like, she doesn't have it. She doesn't have bite, she's a little bit more submissive, things like that. At least that's the environment I grew up in, growing up in Salt Lake. What's up?
Ooh.
A whole other episode.
Totally different topic.
But yeah, it was like, those were things that I had been discouraged in my whole life. Was like, be less of that, do less of that. And so those things you always encouraged. Those were the things that you were like, more of that, keep running at that. Like, that's who you are, like bringing out those sides of me instead of trying to like force those things away. I think that was such a huge thing for me too.
And I think our relationship is unique because it was holistic. It was family, it was work, it was, a lot of those going in. But also someone may even have a mentor of just one aspect of your life that you really like. And I even think of like, I've had business mentors where I'm like, maybe I wouldn't go to them with like marriage stuff, but I like them in business. But ultimately, I also have to be like, if I'm going to take information from someone, is this someone I want to be like? I think I had this woman in business who like kept trying to meet with me and mentor me. I tried it a couple times because I was like, well, maybe I'm gonna get to know her. Like, I don't know if I really like her life outside, but she's successful in business. Like, I'm sure there's something I can learn about business. Yeah. But the more I learned about her in business, it's not how I wanted to do things. Yeah. And so she eventually got like pretty offended that I didn't want to take her input and I was going elsewhere because I was like, I actually don't want to be like you. I don't want to do the things the way you've done. I think your success is great, but I'm not willing to get to that success the way that you have. Yeah. And I remember that was also like a tough thing of like, whether it's a mentor for one aspect of your life or all of your life, it's like, what's the credibility in who they are and their character?
Absolutely. No, I think that's maybe the best advice you ever gave me was you said, don't let someone speak into your life if you wouldn't want your life to look like theirs. And I was 19 when you told me that. And I was like, wow, there are so many voices that I'm letting into my head or into my life right now that I'm just like, okay, they're either my like authority, like figure or whatever, or they're a friend that I just love and trust. But it's like, that kind of became my filter for how I looked at it. I was like, wow, even like my family, like certain people, it was like, okay, this is something you're saying that like normally I would like really take to heart. But I'm like, wow, I don't want my life to look like yours. And sometimes that can be, I mean, I never said it to their face, you know, like that's a little harsh, but it's like just having that filter of like, okay, I'm going to take this, but I don't have to like receive this, internalize this, because yeah, like you were saying, it's like, I don't want my life to look like yours. This is not the business I would like to run, or this is not the family I would like to have. And I think that was like a huge reason why I trusted you so much, because it was like, okay, Haven at 27 is where I want to be at 27. She's like married, has a healthy relationship. She has healthy relationships and friendships outside of that. You know, she's like running this amazing business. I think you had just found out you were pregnant with Isley. It was like, this is a life like I look up to. This is a life that I would want.
I'm just listening and crying. But I mean, someone listening, I think that this sounds like the great dream scenario, like to me, like I feel like that would be like, well, that would be so nice to be chosen, you know, or that
I fell into this. I did nothing. I can't take any credit for this relationship.
But I think to some degree, like I've gone and I've selected mentors in some way, where I have gone and I've been on your side of the couch and I say, can I take you to coffee? And it's moms who are like a couple years ahead, or it's someone in business that has solved a problem I'm currently looking to solve. And I will say, can I please like pay for your meal and ask questions? And I like anyone that I want to be like, I feel like a sponge where I'm like, please, I want to catch who you are. I want to absorb what you're like. And obviously those decisions are helpful, but your essence is who I want to impart on myself. And so also if you're not chosen, if you haven't had someone take you out, who do you want to be like? Maybe they would be honored to be asked, you know?
For sure. Yeah, no, I feel like that's your boldness. I feel like normal people is what I will call them. Like maybe don't think that like they can, you know? And I think that's something that like I do feel has rubbed off on me, you know, from you, is like, I can ask for the things that I want, you know, because what's the worst case scenario? No, you know, like literally. And so, yeah, I think being willing to put yourself out there and be like, hey, I admire you so much. I would love to get coffee and just learn from you. Because I know that I've done that with plenty of relationships outside of just you, whether that's in business or things like that, where I'm like, and it's changed my life, you know, and it's like such an uncomfortable position maybe to like think about doing. But it's like, girl, your go until you get a no is like something I admire so much.
And even if you get a no,
even if you get a no, try 3 more times to make sure it's a no.
Confirm that's a no.
Just following up here, still a no. If you still get a no in 6 months, maybe try again in a year. You know, just keep it on your pipeline, circle back. But
literally, good
never a no.
Ciella.
Yeah, good luck.
And I think also though, someone who's like, maybe you do have something to share in an area. Maybe your relationships aren't great, but you have a skill that's really great, and someone is looking to learn that skill. It's also like you don't have to wait until you have things together for this too. I think going back to the Bluey episode, Mia is this little 12-year-old who is just figuring out life, but to a 5-year-old that's so far in advance. Like, that's so cool. And so I think all of us have the opportunity to help someone a little, like, just not behind, because it feels also so like someone's ahead or further, just someone on an earlier stage of your journey. Yeah. And I think that's also like really beautiful about humans, is like, it doesn't have to be like, you know, just family or assigned or whatever. Like, who in your life is around that maybe you could say, like, I think of my friend teaching me how to do sourdough, you know, like just you're like 2 years into the sourdough journey. What like tools do I need, and can you come teach me, like that kind of stuff too? It's like we can all help each other. We don't have to just watch a TikTok video. Someone could physically show you in person how to do it.
It's better together too.
It is. And I'm on the side of like, oh my gosh, to get to have celebrated and so many formidable moments of your life is like utmost privilege.
Oh my gosh, you in our wedding video is one of my favorite parts. Just tears, just like the biggest smile and just tears running down your face. Like we're just a success story of, you know.
It's so true. Like so many tears, because I was like, this is such a sweet moment when you've been on the lows and the highs, and then it comes together. And yeah, like I'm looking back and I'm like, a note you wrote, like as it was like a Christmas card, but it really impacted me of like seeing all the milestones we've gotten to witness for you.
Yeah, no, I think in the card I said something about like Adolfo and I would not be married if it wasn't for you guys. We would not have the jobs that we have like without you guys. It's just like so many of like the gifts of our life would not have been possible had it not been for you guys kind of helping steer us, you know?
And it's crazy because it's a lot of weight. I'm like, you did the interview and you know, have done the work on marriage. So
it's not entirely you, but it's like, it's not a small part either.
That's what it feels like, where I'm like, oh, to like get to bear witness of someone's life is actually a real gift. And I think that's also whether it's any type of relationship, like the intimacy of allowing someone to see you. Like you and Adolfo have given Aaron and I the privilege to see you. And you're not shading. You're not trying to make it look better. You're not intensifying.
No filters here.
No, like, but that's the gift, is to see human in like raw form. And that's also what I feel like Aaron and I have tried to show in raw form of like, we're not coming from a position of having figured things out by any means. Like a lot of the takes we will give you is from our own mistakes, you know, and how we messed up. So I think it's also the beauty of like the raw texture of togetherness, you know?
You seriously, Haven, once again, have just been such a gift to my life. It's been just such an honor. And I think kind of the same way that you're saying it for me, it's the same way for me looking at you. I'm like, I know where you were when we started this relationship too. And to see you now, like to see Isley in the little person that she's becoming, and Echo and just the incredible person he's becoming. Like, I'm like, that kid's got gumption. I love it. But it's crazy to see like the life that we've had together, how much we've gone through together, how much we've built together, and I'm just excited to see what the next 10 years look like.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be great.
Can't wait. Well, thanks for coming on this.
Thanks for having me.
It was really fun. I know you're nervous.
I'm sweating.
Well, that's because we have the AC off.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So
it's
sound.
Not because of my nerves at all.
No. But we were also joking earlier. You've influenced me. So I was doing a picture about something silly Echo was doing in a fitting room, and I had tried this dress on, and you said, hey, did you get that pink dress? And a DM, and I was like, no, I was torn. You're like, you got to go back and get it.
So I did. Yes, me enabling all your purchases. I'm like, you should really spend that. It's worth it.
You tell me if it's worth it or not, though. I appreciate it.
I do. I'm like, that one you can pass.
Yeah, so I got the dress. See, it's reciprocal.
It's reciprocal. I have so much to give to you as well.
So much
I've changed your life. I'm married because of you. I have a job because of you. And you have this pink dress because of me.
I have this dress.
You're so welcome.
Thank you. Well, anyone listening, like, I guess the takeaway, because so much of this really did feel just like our own story retelling and rehashing. And I was kind of thinking throughout the whole thing, I was like, what's a listener's takeaway? Like, what can come from that? But I really wanted to pause that, because maybe ultimately this was just a story share experience together of what it can look like when you put yourself out there and offer to help someone, or when you humble yourself and you are willing to take help and have that type of like reciprocal relationship. So I hope everyone has someone in their life like this, that either you're championing and cheering on, who's right behind you, and also someone you're looking up to and asking questions that you feel safe, like of, this came up and I don't know how to handle it, or am I really in the wrong here, or what can I do to adjust it, who loves you enough to be a safe place to hear it, but also challenge you of a different perspective you haven't thought of. I think it's just one of the beautiful parts about being human, is that we get the opportunity to have a myriad of different type of relationships. So this unique one of big sister, little sister, a couple years apart, has been something that's profoundly impacted my life, and been able to be truly a front row seat to someone's journey and all of the celebrations and ups and downs and in between. So thank you for listening. You can like, follow, subscribe on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and I will see you next time.